Okay, so we're starting out with ideas, sharing ideas on getting new members. So, Wendy, how'd you do it?
Well, honestly, it had one to do with speakers, having the right type of speakers to appeal to people to get them to come to meetings. In fact, last night we had a great meeting. There was 21 people there, like 5 or 6 guests, and of course our two new members we inducted. But we had the Maui Humane Society come speak. That's a big topic right here on the island. So there was a lot of interest from the public. So that was a great draw. So we've been trying really hard to get good speakers. Another thing that we do is we incorporate business into our meetings. So we go around and talk about everyone's business, let them an opportunity to pass out business cards and say what they do. And then, of course, socials are always fun because it's more networking time to get people out together and socialize in a non-meeting format and get to know each other better. And those seem to be working for us. We have this one member who's our PR person, our public image person, Mara, and she's been inviting like crazy, which is awesome. So, just getting it so that they're excited to bring people to meetings has really helped.
So, do you put your meeting announcement in the paper?
We do. We put it in the Maui News and Maui Now. We also put it on our social media, Facebook and Instagram. And then the Kihei Wailea Club has an amazing PI person who also shares our stuff as well. So we cross promote one another. And then when we can, we also promote the other Rotary clubs on the island just so that they know that we're working together.
Because Wailuku said a couple of weeks ago that they got someone who said, I want to come to your meeting because of your speaker.
Yeah, that
So,
was me. I spoke at their club and
no, it
I
was
was talking
Kim.
about, yeah,
Oh,
I was doing the my new nonprofit. So I spoke at their club and they had 5 guests there and they came up to me and said, this is the biggest meeting we've ever had, but we had it in the paper. We did a press release and I did a lot of inviting too as well. And that was really important. So yeah, just getting the word out and getting it in the paper helps because a lot of times people will just find a topic they're interested in and come to a meeting just for that. And Jay has experienced that in his club as well. Today, I went to their meeting and they had at least 6 people there. And I want to say 4 of them came because they saw it in the paper or they saw it online and they were interested in the topic. So,
ah,
Great.
No. So if I
okay.
can interject, we had a member who was debating which club to go in, and her with the work low, her work schedule, they joined the satellite club. That was a few weeks ago, Tamara, and she had come to both. And a matter of fact, she was on Zoom, I believe, with us. Oh no, it was one of our other members who was only on Zoom with us. She could almost never make a meeting because of her work. So she transferred. So she was a transfer from the main club to the satellite club. And then we had a new member yesterday. So that's where the 2 members came in from yesterday. So really, if you look at our overall, we only gained 1 member to the club, but then we're going to be losing several members. So we're gonna if we can net zero, that would be a miracle this year.
well,
We're
you
going to
guys
be
got
losing.
momentum. So for real, they've got some really great advertising and they've been getting the word out that I really see you guys have been growing quite a bit.
Yeah, but we're going to lose the 12 members from the satellite club to
Oh,
a new
Right.
club, and then of course the regular attrition. So
Yeah, but Jay, just make a notation that those 12 are transferring, so then it's really not a loss to the district.
oh
And we
no,
won't
it's not a
penalize
loss.
you.
It's
Yeah,
a
we won't
no.
penalize you for that number.
Okay, so we'll have to start another satellite club so we can get a third one. I mean, if there are 3 clubs in Lahaina, we'll have to get 3 in South Maui.
good
Maybe
idea.
maybe
Yeah.
a breakfast club.
Yeah, the Sunrise Club revived the sunrise. Hey, so is this the Glenn that's going to be the PE for Waianae? Is this the guy?
Hi, how's it going?
Yes, that's the president-elect. I met him last couple weeks ago. Yay!
Welcome. That's great. What
Yeah.
is with Rich and Rich is trying to come in?
No, I'm in on my iPad. My laptop failed again, so here I am.
Oh, see, Nancy, technology problems here.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
good. I'm not
technology
the only
problems.
one.
Yeah,
But
no, I'm
I
challenged.
have beat up on equipment, so if you need to borrow my sledgehammer, I can help you.
I'm
Okay.
not there yet.
Okay.
Okay, so we were talking about a new club and having a baby shower for the new club and having a gender reveal celebration. And speaking of new babies, this guy with the purple hair
Yep.
has a new baby.
A new grandchild. Yeah. Yep.
Wait, you still have your purple hair?
Paul? No. No, Paul's not on on there.
Yes, he is.
No, that's Glenn.
No, that's Paul. Okay, speak,
We have
Paul.
Paul-
Speak.
We have Paul too. We have Paul as well. Paul's eating, so he's not gonna speak.
It's still purple. It doesn't go away right away. It's dyed in. So maybe another 2 months.
Oh,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
see him.
You mean it was permanent? Okay,
It was really dyed purple.
because don't they have the dye that's not permanent?
I don't know. It was dyed purple and still purple.
Okay,
The sides are getting white though. And the eyebrows are gone.
the eyebrows are purple too?
They were.
Okay,
They're not now.
okay,
Paul,
Roz.
Paul, send me your thing. So I gotta get my donation in. I went to find it and I could not find the time you sent it with the link to make my $500 donation for your purple hair. Okay.
I sure will.
Okay,
Nancy,
absolutely.
I definitely will.
Yeah.
It
'Cause
all
I
goes
would've
to a
told you
good
to-
cause anyhow.
Yeah.
It goes to Polio Plus, and we're pleased with the results. I think with your donation will be over 2,800,
Good.
which is really good.
Wow.
Yay. And we should maybe send it out. Newton Chu's going on the bike ride this weekend. I think he goes to the big Tucson 100-kilometer bike ride for polio to cure polio. So maybe we'll send it out and give everybody another chance to donate to support him on his pedaling or something, So good.
Well,
Yep.
maybe if you could put set up an account under the Rotary, then everybody can get to it easily.
Okay. Okay.
So,
I'll send you
hey,
what
so Roz, are you smiling because of the purple hair?
No, she's smiling because of the money coming in because of the purple hair. Yeah.
Just because he looks so cute. Just look at him. How can you not see him?
Okay, see, Glenn, see what happens when you got to have purple hair.
Don't
Nancy-
scare Glenn away. I only broke his arm 2 weeks ago to make sure he's going to be governor.
And Nancy, I have the link in there just for you. All of you guys, if you haven't done so yet, please go to the link that's in the chat and make your contribution.
Okay. Okay. And so Nalani can tell you more about that purple hair, Glenn. So if you're kind of wondering what that is.
Yeah.
Okay. So going back to what we were talking about, we're talking about bringing in new members. And
Right.
so anybody want to share about bringing in new members?
Well, I will say that I've been to so many club meetings, yay, almost up to all of them. And all of the clubs have been bringing in members, but they're also losing them in their different ways. And I don't have the exact count. But I do want to say, I do have a suggestion if everybody could bring in, and I started saying it to the more recent clubs I've gone to, is that, it's the people, the folks that are coming to your meeting, they're solid. They're going to continue to come. They're they're your lifers, or they're committed and they come and they want to be a part of this. And the ones you're going to potentially lose are the ones who don't come, right? They're not attending the meetings. You don't hear from them, etc. And I have a name for them. We're calling them slackers, the slackers that don't come. But I realize that in almost all the other clubs that I belong to, aside from Rotary, I am the slacker. I don't go to any of their meetings. I don't read their newsletter. I don't know what they're doing. I don't do anything for those other clubs that I'm a member of, except when they call me from time to time and they say, gee, Nancy, can you help us with money for something? Can you help us with attending something? Can you help us with using your discounted card for something for their program. Can you help us with something, taking 5 bales of hay for their Halloween event? Yeah, you know, I show up and I do it because someone called and invited me back into the Ohana to help out. So I really think we need to look at that. And I don't mean call them every week. Don't forget we have a meeting, you know, don't get pesty, but call him, invite him. They all joined because they wanted to do service for the community, you know, and they all stayed for whatever years and stuff. And now they've gotten out of the habit of coming to meetings. So invite him to come in. Hey, we got something special going on. We've got this going on. Just call in to say hi. And I think you'll be surprised how many people are out there that they loved Rotary when they joined, and if they've been paying their dues and not coming to a meeting for a long time, I think if they're asked, they might reappear and suddenly become strong members again. It's definitely worth a couple of phone calls in the next few months. So I'd recommend everybody systematically look at that, divide it between your, you know, membership. If you're a small group, the president's the best person to call, because that's the person who, you know, I'm worried. I'm your president and I care, right? So think about that as just an idea. Maybe we could go out to all the clubs and the membership chairs and the presidents and make that suggestion.
Okay. Yeah, good to bring in people like that that want to participate with the fundraising and the programs. But if you've got a good speaker, you need people there to be at the meeting with the speaker.
Yeah.
You need to look for those kinds of people too that want to attend the meetings. So when you have a good speaker, you want to have good members, right? So how do you bring in more people to come to your meetings to hear a speaker besides, you know, try to advertise? Any ideas? Hey, so Beverly at Metro, you know, you guys meet at the Pacific Club and you know, you need to fill that room, right? So how do you bring in people to hear a good speaker?
Mostly we depend on our members to tell other people. I was very interested when I heard about, so you talk about publishing in the newspaper. I mean, we don't do any of that stuff. But I mean, publishing in the newspaper that I know of,
Yeah.
I'm sure Roz could let me know if it does. I think though, what I want to see if we could do is have somebody, one of our computer savvy, you know, somebody who posts on Instagram, all that kind of stuff, do that. Because I think that would be a way to get more people to come. And again, we have a better attendance when we have speakers that people want.
Mhm.
I can send you the format, Beverly. Basically, once you can get the contact people who you need to send the emails to, if you have like the quote unquote info they're looking for kind of already formatted and ready for them, then
Yeah.
they'll easier publish it
Okay.
versus them going back and forth and trying to get that from you. But there's certain things that they kind of want. And so once we figured out that layout and what those things are, we created a Google form. So whenever we have a speaker, we have them fill out this Google form that basically answers all those questions. And then we take that information and put it into, you know, Word document, and then send it to the right people at the newspaper. And they just publish it right away because everything's there that they need. So it makes it a lot easier to get it online and in the paper. So I can send you that format too.
Okay,
to make
I'd
it
like
easier.
that. Thank you.
So that's a good point on trying to format it so that they can just cut and paste it. And even for
Right.
the district website, we want to just cut and paste it. So it's got to be written really nicely so we can just take that and it's got all the information in there. So if you go to the public image meeting tomorrow, Janet shared with everybody last month the list of all of the contacts for the media. And she has like 200 names on there. So you can get that list from Janet.
Okay, I can't be at that meeting tomorrow, unfortunately.
Okay, but maybe your public image person can go to that meeting.
Mhm.
Okay, so, you know, getting the word out, but another way is to put it on a Facebook push where Facebook can put your meeting. So say you plan a really good meeting with a really good speaker and you put it onto Facebook and you tell Facebook, you've got to pay for the ad, but tell Facebook, I want to get businesses within a radius of a 1/2 mile from my meeting place. And they can target people to send your message to. Okay. So Randy told us last month that he had some money from Rotary International to do some membership drives, and he hasn't had a lot of takers. Do you think you have any takers here that you might want $100 to do a Facebook push or $100 to do? Okay, so you've got to write it up, what you're going to do, and send it to Randy so you can get some money for that public image
Yeah, I
push.
have to get with some of the people that are actually the ones that know how to do that in our club. I don't know how to do it. On
Okay, good. Who
But
else?
then
Who else
thank
wants $100? Anybody? Jay?
Well, we did do something, but we were told that it had to be paid for afterwards. What we did for us is we have Fourth Friday, they have it all around, and we set up a table or tent there. We had a survey, a community survey to find out what the community would like Rotary to do. We have quite a few surveys, and a lot of people just got to know Rotary. I mean, we set up some of our, props, our rescue tubes, and we set up a thing for Emua readers and a peace pole. We set up the peace pole there. So we did get a public, but we couldn't use the $100 because it had to
Okay.
be paid for afterwards. But I put down the Facebook because we do Facebook and we get quite a bit on Facebook. But I will speak to our public image chair and also incoming
Okay.
president, PGE.
But is there another event that you can do the same thing? Is
Yeah.
there a craft fair or something that you can have your?
We might do it again. We have to analyze it. We have to see. December is really a hard, Fourth Friday in December does not make sense. Even
Mhm.
November. It's right
Mhm.
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Mhm.
But in January, I think that we might do it. We're going to analyze it at a board meeting and decide.
Okay, because then you can ask for that $100, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so what about in Mililani? If you got together with Mililani Wahiwa and did like a one night with a really good business speaker and have a business networking thing, maybe you can do that.
Are you talking to the purple hair guy?
Yeah, the purple hair guy, Mililani.
You know, Mililani is a little different, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say this. I think we're one of the few clubs that still operates on Zoom. We used to meet at Lelehoa Golf Course, and it was a great venue there. Unfortunately, when COVID came, they closed down. And when they reopened as 604. It was no longer Lelehoa Golf Course. So we lost our meeting place. And we've been looking all over Mililani to find a home. And we just can't locate a home in Mililani right now. So we stay on Zoom, but it's much, much more difficult. You can't, if you had an in-person meeting, you can always invite prospects to come to your meetings. But when you have a Zoom, say, hey, you want to meet us on Zoom, they might say, yeah, but they seldom show up on the Zoom. And we have good speakers, like, we had this morning, but it's difficult. So we're gonna have to do something, to find a new home. And we tried every place in Mililani, and none of them will work.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah. Unless we go to the rec center. We can go to the rec center.
Yeah, what about the rec center?
But there's no food service or anything like that, and that becomes difficult.
Well, can Uber Eats deliver food for you every time?
Or do like what Pro Ridge does.
Mhm.
I'm not sure Dick Moscow's situation right now. I know that he was going to undergo some cancer operation soon. But what Dick used to do is says, okay, we're having a meeting on Friday, and anybody wants meal, I'll go out and buy it. And that's how addicted we're doing it, you know.
Yeah.
And
So
that's difficult.
yeah, it is difficult because somebody's got to go get the head count and go buy it and then bring it to the meeting. And then if you got no people who didn't sign up, then how do you do
Yeah.
that? But you know,
Absolutely.
if you order from Uber Eats, or if you tell everybody brown bag it, because that has that's happened with other clubs. You brown bag, everybody brings their own. But if you have it at a different time, then maybe you don't have to have a meal. Yeah, so maybe, you know, taking some time to brainstorm on, you know, what can work. Because you
We
don't
are
have
going to
to.
do that. That's on the agenda at the next board meeting, changing the time of our meeting. And we'll see how that pans out. But
Okay.
until then, you know, it's difficult to go and get new. Luckily, we've been able to stay static as far as account, you know.
Yeah,
We
and you've
gained
got
one,
new,
we lost one. So this year we're even so far.
you better go walking with your dog again because, you know, Paul walks with his dog and he talks to anybody and then he gets people to join the club.
Yeah, and it worked out a couple times. In fact, you know, Kathy Lum was our president two years ago, and she did a good job, you know. And she brought in her soon-to-be son-in-law, you
Oh,
know. Yeah, Mango Hayden.
Hayden.
Hayden's, you know, is a member, and he's a young guy, and you know. YPE maybe. We have two people that falls into that category, but it's difficult to meet on Zoom and grow your club. If someone's
Well,
got that magic, please advise.
okay, I think it's possible, but you just gotta have the right format, maybe. Okay, so Brian says he had someone stop several times while walking my dog. Okay, wearing the shirt. Okay, so you got to put on your back. Ask me about Rotary or something. But it works.
Name your dog Rotary. So then when they ask about your dog, you say, "This is my dog Rotary because I named it
my
after my
mother-
club." With the perfect lead in, right?
My mother actually made my dog a little cape suit that says Rotary on the back of it.
Oh.
Unfortunately, it's a little too small for him anymore, but yeah, I have it hanging next to the door.
Don't
Okay.
overfeed him so much.
So see, that's a testimony that it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you know, Dan
I think Jay has
Himmelsbach.
his hand up.
Okay, sorry, who's got a hand up?
I think
I
Jay,
did.
is your hand up? Yeah.
Yes, we had the same problem with when COVID came. We met at a restaurant and they obviously closed. When they reopened, where they are, it didn't pay for him to open on Wednesday afternoon. So even though I know Mike very well and everything else, it just didn't work out. So we went to the church, which has been costing us money. We rented the hall there. And what I do is I go to a deli and I get wraps of that, and I bring flavored seltzer and water, and we charge very minimum. But you might consider you have a breakfast meeting, right, Paul?
Yes, sir, we do.
Okay. I was at a breakfast club up in Vermont, and what they did, it's at a church, but what they did is they get a tray of eggs and they bring in a half-gallon of orange juice and have a coffee urn or two and charge a couple of dollars. And if you have leftover eggs and all, it's not that much money. But the problem is to get a place to meet.
Yes.
We're going to be moving as of the 1st, I believe, to Kihei Youth Center because we've been doing a lot there and they've been straightening it out there for us. So that'll be a nice thing because we've been always very active with them and we've used a lot of our grant money to support them over the years.
Yeah. So Dan Himmelsbach, the zone director last year, he really wants the clubs to brainstorm because he's saying that you don't have to have a pledge and a bell. You know, how can you make your meetings different that the members want to do something? Because maybe the younger ones don't like that invocation and the pledge. So think outside of the box to think about how you can make these meetings meaningful. Maybe you've got a lot of business people and you want to have it only 45 minutes instead of an hour so they can get back to work. But I went to a meeting in Hanoi, and it was 9 o'clock on a Sunday, and you buy your own coffee and donut, and we went to a lounge next to the coffee shop. So nobody
Wow.
was really paying any money. If you didn't want to get coffee, you just sat there and joined the meeting. So, it could be as easy as that. So brainstorm about your meeting places. And if your club members, there's some club members that want to do the traditional and some club members don't want to, how can you help them get that same club experience? Maybe that group would meet at for drinks someplace else. Maybe that group is going to meet online. The Kahala Club had the first satellite club actually many years ago, and that they had a group of people that wanted to meet at night instead of the morning, and they wanted to meet online. So they formed that satellite club with an online, and they met at night. Okay, so those things can work. But we want to really see if we can do some kind of push maybe in February, because February's Rotary's birthday, right? So we're brainstorming with Nancy and Public Image about maybe doing a really big push in February, right, Nancy? Okay, so what we wanted to do, some of the ideas was we'll give everybody a little card that says, what is Rotary? And tell everybody, give it to 10 people you think would make good members. And then let's blitz it out. Let's have Rotary, the Public Image group blitz out some public image, the PSAs, the service announcements, put it on the radio, really blitz it out, put in press releases so that the public gets a big load of Rotary, and people are out there with a card that says, join me. So want to try see if this will work to help everybody get new members in the door. Okay, so that means that when you're coming in the door, the clubs need to make sure that it's a place that people want to stay. So, when you invite guests to your house, you clean house, right? So same thing. How can we clean house with your club so that when people come in your door, that they're going to want to stay? So let's talk a little bit about retention. So we talked about calling people, getting them to meetings, having good meetings. What are some other things, some best practices on getting your members more engaged and solidified, really gelled with the group?
So I
What
can say a little
projects
bit.
work well? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say I can say a little bit about that from our club's perspective. And actually from my personal experience, when I first joined Rotary Club of Honolulu, my sponsor literally said, "Here, sit down here. We're having a meeting for the I think it was the four-way test speech contest or something, whatever committee it was." And she just sat me down and, okay, now I'm on that committee. Oh, okay, cool. Engaging new members, and then on the other side, going through and kind of doing a review of your membership. I was actually literally just responding to an email chain on this earlier today to figure out who has been coming to meetings, who hasn't been coming to meetings. Of course, you have to keep track of that. Who's been engaging in service projects and not, and making a particular effort to reach out to, especially the folks who used to be engaged, but you haven't seen in a while, and asking them directly and specifically, hey, you want to come to this event XYZ in the next couple of weeks? We'd love to see you, that kind of stuff. Again, from my personal experience, I know that kind of thing, like Nancy says, when people reach out to me and say, hey, come do this, I tend to engage. So.
And Brian, you had some ideas too. I'm catching up on the chat. You did a thing for a while where you had restaurant of the week or restaurant of the month or something.
We
so
actually
you jumped
still do
around.
that. That's part of our regular
okay.
schedule. So we have about every 3 months, we have one of those events, and I've kind of got them staggered so that we do, a Paul Harris week, and then a Pauhana week, and then a restaurant week each month, and then we cycle through them again. And so that's an opportunity for smaller groups of people to meet in much less, potentially less expensive and also potentially less intimidating spaces, and then also bring along guests. We've had a number of new folks come to Pauhana events. We've had people bring guests to restaurant weeks. Same with our Paul Harris events, as we call them. And you know, it also, I think, kind of breaks things up a little bit for folks who want to do things other than regular meetings. Although we do, of course, have regular meetings usually about 3 times a week. So we or 3 times a month. We did actually do a poll of our members to ask them, you know, how often would you like to have each of these events? And there were a couple of people who said, no, we should have a meeting every Tuesday, always at the same place, always at the same time. I don't want to have to think about it. And then we had a couple of people who said, oh, we should do one of these things every other week. But the majority of them kind of, yeah, once a quarter, every 3 months for each of these 3 things. And it's kind of worked out pretty well. I'd
Okay,
say.
so Brian, I'm coming to visit you on the 18th. Are you going to play hide and seek, or where shall I go?
No, we'll be at our regular spot for that one.
Okay, you're at the Pacific Club at lunchtime, right?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Looks like
Okay,
Rich maybe
Rich.
has some thoughts.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment. One of the things that we've just initiated, and it might be something other clubs can consider, you know, besides our regular dues that we have, we are initiating what we call a Koch and Lawrence Fund, which is for operations, but mostly for, you know, the idea was for membership development. And it would be kind of a slush fund that could be utilized to subsidize others that are bringing in guests, or to do special events for membership development, and would encourage, you know, if the clubs are willing, you know, to put in a few more bucks off to the side that could be utilized for specific membership development needs. And that's something we've just initiated, and we're putting it into practice, you know, as we go along.
Yep.
The last night I stayed after our veteran event and I extended my flight and went to the Hickam Pearl Harbor Club, and they go Big City Diner at Pearl Ridge, and I've been there a couple of times with them, and their meeting starts at 6, but they almost all show up at 5:30 because happy hour ends at 6, and the drinks are really, really affordable till 6. So they order up, and then they all order another round right before 6 o'clock for their drinks. And then they all pay for their own meal. They order it together. But it really does. So in other words, all their camaraderie, talking, enjoying each other's, you know, visits, etc., all happen before the meeting. That's their intended time to have their socialization with each other. And that. So I think, and it made for a really good atmosphere. So it was you know, an idea. If you can find, trust me, their drinks were very affordable compared to most of the hotels and bars I've been at lately. So anyway, just another way to look at it.
Yeah. And I think Waikiki, you do that too, right, Dave?
David.
Dave? Wait, is that a
There.
picture? Is he there?
He's there. He just moved. Dave Livingston.
Maybe
You
that's
guys
the
have
avatar.
drinks- You have drinks at your, yeah. You have drinks at your club meetings too, right? Even though it's lunchtime, yeah?
Well, we have drinks at our club meeting, but we have an AA meeting right after Rotary. Pretty fun.
It's, so that's your socialization time, huh?
You have to be a member of the Waikiki Yacht Club to order drinks.
Oh,
You
okay.
can't just as a Rotarian walk in and do it.
Oh, huh, interesting.
So,
Okay.
but that's a good sales point for the Waikiki Yacht Club.
Yeah, that's
If you
true.
want a beer with your Rotary meal, then you got to join the club. Pretty good.
That could make it
Pretty
an
good
expensive
marketing,
beer.
actually.
Okay, see all kinds of different options, but you know, and then we know Downtown Club meets at the school, and the principal helps fix some breakfast and stuff. I think they're weekly, but that's because they have such a strong relationship with the school. So let's all keep our eye out for where ideas and share those ideas on locations to meet and ways to deal with the meals. You know, we were doing that during the COVID year. I would be picking up trays of Subway sandwiches and stuff like that, and you know, meeting at the Salvation Army, you know, and then everybody just paid $10 and they picked up their sub sandwich, and that we could have a meeting there because their internet connectivity was strong. So, you know, look at your options. A lot of those nonprofits who have the new Y building in Lahaina excellent place for somebody pretty soon to try and meet with. That's
Lahaina Sunset's meeting, or yeah, Lahaina Sunset's gonna start. They already
Okay.
started meeting there. They finally
Perfect.
opened it, so they are meeting there.
Okay, great, because I got to be there, what, month ago or so, and got to see the sign when we unveiled the sign together. It was wonderful.
Yeah, they finally had the blessing and the opening, and so Lahaina Sunset has been holding their meetings there, and it's an amazing meeting space.
Good.
It's really nice.
Good. And then when I came on, Wendy, so you're telling me you're growing so much, you're ready to become a club? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes,
Yay.
ma'am.
All right, let's
Yeah,
go for it.
Kihei is having a baby.
What's that?
Kihei Wailea Club is having a baby.
Oh, yes, that's it. Okay, I got it. Yes, yes.
See what happens, Nancy, when you come late.
Yeah. Confused me. Well, Paul had a grandchild, so anything's
Yeah,
possible.
except he announced it in club, and everybody looked at me, and I said, "It's not mine." So.
Okay, what about Waianae? How about you, Nalani and Glenn? How are you guys
Yeah,
doing?
good club.
Well, surprisingly, we've had, let me see, 1, 2, 3 new members and one more to go. So, and all of them have just showed up or
Ah.
have heard about us and sent through Instagram inquiry on where we're meeting, and they just gravitated. I think Glenn, one of the newest members, also can share more about that, right, Glenn?
Are you talking about the IT
New
fella?
members coming in,
Oh,
CJ, Chet, and Myra.
yeah, that's pretty exciting. It's funny because there's a connection with CJ and a friend of mine that I went to school with from high school time. So it was kind of cool to make that connection. He just out of the blue asked me if I knew somebody, and I was like, oh yeah. Because this fella didn't grow up here, but I think he was from San Diego originally or something. But that was kind of a cool connection. So the connections are pretty amazing that you can make, if you just kind of get out there in your network for sure.
Before you go away, Glenn, I'd like to introduce your DGE, Benson Medina, Big Glenn, who is our new PE.
Yes, I heard that. Good to see you, Glenn. And Doug pointed you out. Doug's going to be the chief of staff next year. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun in LA. So we'll get you all registered for the PELS training in LA. But yeah, good to have you on board. Your club is an awesome club. So
Yep.
All right, thank you.
Yeah,
And
great.
he has his white shirt on order, so we're good to go and paid for. Yes.
Yeah, we want that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exciting. Waianae is a good example, and I've been to some other clubs that meet in an area that's really close to other small businesses and stuff. And I think it would be, and we have that thing where you can get $100 to just do what you want to. So if you want to have a little social or something, let Randy know and stuff, and we can get a little extra $100 for you to buy your poo-poos with or something. Invite the businesses around you to come. And even if it's lunchtime, even if it's breakfast time, send out create something that you can drop off at selected businesses that are fairly close to you in your general area. Because if they're there at those times, they're there before work probably, or getting set up. They're there at lunchtime. They're there maybe right after work time, and just tell them we're Rotary and we're do things in our community. And you guys, your Waianae Club, you've got all kinds of stuff you're doing and stuff, include a calendar if you like or something, and just say, we'd like to invite you to come on by. Even if you invite, 10 or 15, and if 5 show up, that's perfect, because you don't want to, obviously your members have to be there to play hostess. You don't want to have 30 or 40 show up unless you got 30 or 40 people to talk to them. But 5 or 10 people show up, 2 or 3, 1 or 2 show up. I think you got an ideal setting to let the rest of the community, and especially your business community, know who you are and what you're doing, because your business community is now include your nonprofits, right? And you got all these nonprofit agencies sitting up there, and it's a perfect joint unite for good get with those nonprofits, and your club can help do service projects that will help their intents also, because it's good for the community. So
Okay.
suggestions.
Yep, and let's talk a little bit about retaining and giving your members that club culture or that sense of belonging. And so Benson had this idea of really recognizing people who are lifers. Benson, you want to talk about lifers?
Yeah, I do. So you know what we see in Rotary, there are people in your club, right, who have been Rotarians forever, and maybe some that haven't been Rotarians forever, but really like Rotary. Like I have a guy in my club, Len Miyazono. He's been in our club for 2 years, but I guarantee you that guy is going to be a Rotarian for the rest of his life because he just digs it. You know, he likes the people, he likes what Rotary does. I mean, that guy goes to the international conventions. He wants to go to PETS on his own. He's not even the PE just because he wants to be around Rotary. Now, so what we're going to start doing at the end of this year, starting with Glenn's group of presidents, is we're going to acknowledge those people like Paul Nakachis that have made basically a lifetime commitment to want to be in Rotary. Like they like Rotary, Rotary works for them. They like the people in Rotary, like what Rotary does. You know, we have probably everybody on the screen tonight. If I asked, hey, is Rotary something that you'd want to continue for the rest of your life? Pretty much everybody here would want to do that. So at the end of this year, we're going to start acknowledging those people, and we're going to have a special like society, like a Paul Harris Society, but it's going to be called Eolamau. And Eolamau, if you know, means the life that never ends. And it's really about recognizing those people that love Rotary enough, it works for them, that they want to make a lifetime commitment. Now, it's not a financial commitment. And obviously, if you change your mind next year, you know, nobody's going to sue you. But we feel that there's enough people that want to make that commitment. I mean, I look at somebody like Jay, who's been a Rotarian for 50 years now. I mean, we may as well acknowledge a guy like that guy and just say, hey, man, this is a good thing. And, you know, we can set the example. And we feel like, you know, we start acknowledging those people and people want to join that group, you know, that it'll help us really start to bring our attrition rate down. Because I know in our club, you know, Doug and I, Rotary Club of South Hilo, we probably got, I'd say, I don't know, Doug, what do you think? 2/3 of the people that if we said, all right, here's an opportunity to be a lifetime member of Rotary, they're going to take it up. They're going to say, sign me up for that. I want the pin. I want the certificate. You know, I want to be a part of that. Now, you know, we're still working on the, you know, benefits package, if there is one of that, but we have people that want to do that. And, you know, and we're only going to require, actually, you could make a lifetime commitment and want to be a Rotarian for life after 2 years. And the reason we picked 2 years is because if you're following Rotary statistics, we find that a lot of Rotarians that join Rotary, typically they leave within 3 years because it doesn't work for them, right? So sometime in that 3 years, you know, if they can make that connection, if they meet really great people like a Dave Livingston, they're like, wow, I want to be around Dave, so give me the pin. So that's coming, and then that's something that we're hopeful will help to build some continuity, that'll build a base of membership within our club, and that'll help that grow. Because I know guys, like I said, like Len Miyazono, who came in just a couple of years. I mean, he's going to want to do something like that. And if we have new members that it really works for them and they want to engage, we want to give them an opportunity to be acknowledged in that way. So I think we have a lot of things kind of going for us. We, you know, it's a something, you know, membership is something where you got to start thinking outside the box. Nancy has a great idea. You know, if we have a chance to round up the businesses in your area, do a little business to business networking thing, get a bunch of poo-poos, people will come. Because people are social beings and they want to meet other people. And the more that you can do stuff that engages people to meet other people, I mean, I think what Brian's doing over in his clubs, fabulous, where you give people opportunity to see different things. I mean, one of the things that really works for a lot of clubs, and I know the mommy clubs do it, the Rotary on the Road, right? Where you take one of your club meetings and you go out and do it someplace, and you know, you can pick a restaurant and go do it in somebody's restaurant. They're not even a Rotarian, and then you know, kind of like, hey man, we met in your restaurant, so you
Yeah.
should think join Rotary.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be a restaurant. It could be a car dealership or something. You know,
Yeah.
you know, it could be a vocational visit. Hey, but Benson, Nalani could be your poster child for your program.
Yes, well, Lonnie's always my poster child. And so that's great. So whatever Nolani wants, I'm on it. I'm doing
Okay.
it.
But
So thank you.
you know, it's that relationship with people. So Len has that relationship with you. And so Len goes, whatever Benson wants, that's where I'm going to stay, or that's what I'm going to do. And so it's that building that relationship and calling people to see how you can make that bridge with people. So, you know, this is a program that Benson's been thinking about for a while, and we want to try and get it going. And yes, membership has privileges, and one is to be Benson's friend or Brian's friend, right?
Ross's friend, Jay's friend, or Rich's friend.
So when we talk about how people are getting something of value for membership, what if they're not? Do you see any opportunities to start a new a satellite club for these people who want to be Rotarians, but maybe something's not fitting? So maybe they want to leave, but maybe you can save them by doing a satellite club. Or do you see in your area a place where we don't have a Rotary club and there's an opportunity to start a new Rotary club? Do you guys see any opportunities?
Well, you know, in Hilo, we have a breakfast club and 2 lunch clubs. So I always think, man, it would be great to have a Pauhana club in Hilo. Probably, if we started a Pauhana club in Hilo, probably they'd leave all the other clubs and want to do that club. But but yeah, there's an opening. I'm going to work with Vernon and Nancy to get this Native Hawaiian group going. You know, Malia Lewis, I've had a couple conversations with her, and I just said, all right, well, let's get this thing going. And the reason why it's good, like our plan to basically, you know, we're going to roll out this plan 2,000 by 2030. And 2,000 by 2030 means right now we're at about 1,450. Our membership is to get 2,000 members by 2030. And what I believe that one of the ways we can do that is get these clubs that are not a place-based club, like they don't have to be in Kona or whatever, but they're a cause-based club. And you know, there's a woman that works with me, Malia Lewis, who has, like, you know, Native Hawaiian connections all over the map, Japan, mainland, whatever. And you know, I've been thinking about this one, and she came to me and said, hey, how about, you know, Rotary Club of Native Hawaiian Culture and Music. And I said, hey man, Vern and Nancy are your guys, and let's get going with those guys. And so I'm gonna help them to kind of ramp those guys up. But I think if we want to grow as a district, you know, in large numbers, it's really about putting new clubs together. Rich and I have been talking about doing a Rotary Club of Young Professionals of Hawaii, right? And they would be a satellite of the Rotary Club of Honolulu, right? And one of the great things about being a satellite club is that you don't need all the infrastructure. You don't need a treasurer. You don't need a secretary. I mean, that's already sort of built in already. So you have that infrastructure to help you with that. You know, you only need 8 members, you know, to charter. You don't need to have a president. And usually satellite clubs only have a chair. And so it's an easy thing, especially if your club is a really big club that would like to meet at a different time. I know, like, Rich's club is a lunch club, but maybe there's a group of people that like, hey, we love Rotary, but we'd love to meet at 5:30 at a bar. And so there's the opportunity now to, you know, start a satellite club. And I really think our growth as a district is to take our existing clubs and clone them off or satellite them off into these cause-based clubs that can be all over the world. I mean, you know, the potential of a club like think about this, like Rotary Club of Native Hawaiian Culture and Music. That is a global club. I mean, we could easily have like 500 members in a club like that. I mean, huge. So those are the kinds of things that excite me. And you know, we haven't even scratched the surface. Yeah, there's young professionals. We could have, you know, we could have veterans. We could have, there's a new club that chartered in California, Rotary Club of Filipino Americans. I mean, you know, whatever. I mean, these cause-based clubs that are not place-based, like they don't have to be in Kihei or they don't have to be in Hilo. They can be anywhere. So that's our huge potential there. So
Yeah, so let's look for these opportunities to start a satellite or even a regular club or a cause-based club, and people who are in your club that may be leaving because of some reason. Let's see how we can help them stay with Rotary. And so, Brian, yes, we've been trying to get a Haleiwa club or North Shore club for a couple of years now. Nalani actually worked on something a couple of years ago, and last year the Honolulu Sunset was trying to get a satellite club in Haleiwa, but it just didn't take. So can we talk to you about this group that wants to partner with you? And maybe it's a satellite for
Sure.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
We'll get back to you on that. Okay. So let's look at opportunities for satellite clubs or new clubs, because you know your community. Maybe there's a need for a nighttime club if you're meeting in the morning, or a lunch club, or maybe there's a need for some area that's growing. So, you know, I just, on the news, Nancy, it says that in Puna, it's going to be 30,000 people in a couple of years. And that is a place that's really growing that maybe we should look at. So it's not where you're losing members, we're saving members that are going to help us do good in the community. And if it's your satellite club, they can help you with your projects too, and have your parties together. So think about how we can grow, how we can retain, how we can give value to our members. And you guys are all doing it, but it's always room for thinking about how we can do a little bit more. So the last thing I wanted to ask you was, you know, Nancy's planning a district conference in August 2026, and we want to make it something that's everybody wants to go to. So what's your opinion of district conferences? What would entice your members to go to a district conference?
Good speakers. Speakers that everybody wants to hear. I don't know what that is, but that's what I think, and that's when I go to those district conferences.
Okay.
I also think a project. Now, it can't be too physical, but you know.
Oh yeah.
The Genki Bowls was a good project.
Yes,
maybe we could do that. But people would like to say, oh, I went and I did. Not only did I attend something, but a project would be good, whatever it is. And of course, we have to be able to accommodate people who are, you know, not as physically fit as others.
Lower
Good idea.
cost.
Lower cost. Okay. Nancy's on that. She's going to make it affordable.
No, for the neighbor island folks, we need to try and do what we can because of the airfare, and then keeping the rooming costs down, you know, the housing costs down. So that will help. Okay, good.
What about Dave Livingston? What do you think?
I think having Dave
I
Livingston.
try not to think too much, okay?
I was going to say, I think having Dave Livingston
I
at a
am
conference is a
sitting
good idea.
here on a Zoom meeting with the greatest Rotarians that ever lived, listening to your fantastic ideas. And by the way, Wendy, is that an ad for old Rotarians?
It could be. It could be.
You know, that's where I got mine done. My wife got a certificate at the Humane Society, and if it wasn't for that little metal bench, it would have been a perfect opportunity. But anyway, the three things that I get out of this, one is we need more members, but I haven't heard anyone talk about having a list of 25 potential members in their pocket. And every time they think about who's the speaker going to be at their next meeting, they pull that list out and say, who would be interested in listening to that speaker? And then that brings me back to our current Rotary Club of Waikiki president-elect, Fred Brooks. 2 years I recruited Fred. I invited him to every meeting I thought he would be interested. 2 years he was on my list. And now he's going to be a president and he'll have to go to therapy like the rest of us. But the second thing that I don't hear happen at clubs, which I try to do at every club meeting some way, Roz is going to love this. We brought up Polio Plus, and I said, you know, there's 3 members that aren't here today because they're no longer with us. And in their honor, I'd like to give $100 for Andy Riley, $100 for Sandy, and $100 for Dave. You know, they're up in the great Rotary Club in heaven, but I want to share my wealth and honor those 3 guys. Unfortunately, when I did that, expecting somebody else to say, I'd like to honor someone too, somebody honored me because they didn't realize I was still alive. It's kind of sad. But anyway, the third thing that I do to try to help Rotary, I have a newsletter. And we all have access to newsletters. I just happen to write my own for the last 22 years. And it now goes to 22,000 people. And in that newsletter, every week, I share all of the pictures of the people that I took a photograph of at last week's Rotary Club meeting. And on the bottom of all that, I say, hey, if you're interested in joining me at a Rotary meeting, I'll buy you lunch. Here's my telephone number. You know, other than the 55 homeless people that took me up on that, we have had some really great people call me and say, I'll take you up on that lunch offer. And so those are 3 recommendations that I would make from Captain Inappropriate, and then I'll shut up.
Well, meetings and before the meetings, and the ones before the meetings with your guest speakers and the information about them, it's like every week I'm going, well, I should go to that. I mean, if I lived in town, I'd probably show up at every meeting because you do such a good job. And if we prep that, if each club prepped a really short at this meeting and a little bit of more of a blurb than just, you know, when, where, why, and how, and a little bit more of the why, because who's going to be there, the who, and maybe, and all the members were told, hey, send it out to 4 or 5 friends the week before. So our meeting's on Friday. If on Monday we get that, we send it to 4 or 5 friends and forward that email, then they might show up, you know what I mean? And I'm sending it to my own personal friends with a little, hey, thinking of you, love to have you, love to buy you lunch, let me know. Hey, I got the guy on the airplane that I went over with last week. He's going to meet me on Friday for lunch at our club in Hilo. So got one, but you know, yeah, there's always that opportunity, but I think that's a good idea to have you're ready to do contact. Okay.
Okay, Bev from Metro, yeah. Go ahead.
I want to say that, and it's even more pertinent now. I got recruited way back in the 70s by Rick Osbach on the Big Island. Oh. And all he said was, I want you to come to Rotary. He was a client of mine. It is a world peace organization from business people that care what happens to this place we call Earth. And, you know, you could say it any sort of way, but it's true. And I think especially now, and especially the younger people that we want to get, they're worried about this world. And Rotary is a peace organization and an organization that helps people and isn't, not really political. It's just doing the right thing for people. And I still think that statement works today. Join Rotary, come live this. We're a world peace organization. Seriously. Mhm.
Okay, on that high note, Bev, thank you very much for sharing that. Hey, you guys didn't know it was going to be a comedy show today, right? So thank you all for coming today.
Thank you.
Have a
Yes.
good night.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good
Share
night,
those
everyone.
ideas.
Before
Thank you,
everybody,
Naomi.
before
Oh.
everybody runs away, I
Uh-oh.
want to, no, I just, here, I gotta change my video settings here so that I don't have a background. I just wanted to share with everyone, this was the dog shirt that my mother acquired and then decorated so that I could take my dog for a walk and let everyone know what his
Awesome.
loyalty was.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that with everybody.
Good job.
Brian,
Thank God for mom.
Congratulations, Glenn. We'll be in touch.
All right.
Thank
There
you,
we go.
everyone.
I shoot
Bye.
All
any
right. Thank
event.
you.
All right, thank you.
People always ask me about Rotary.
Mm,
That's great. Walking your dog, shooting an event.
yep.
If you had Rotary on your underwear and that's all you wore walking down the street,
You
man,
certainly
we'd
get some
never guess
attention.
Sorry, Glenn. Sorry, we got to erase that.
It's okay. I'll
Mr.
keep it between
Inappropriate.
you and.
Part of the comedy show here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
All right, guys.
Okay.
We're
Bye-bye.
gonna cut this.
Hey, good
Okay.
night.